earlier, with the Gazelle Valley, which is another urban restoration project. So there are different types of restoration work carried out by SPNI, and we're very proud to be a leading force in restoration in Israel and in our region. So this is a quick introduction of Startup Nature and Magan Michael. Just to mention, Startup Nature is happening thanks to the generosity of our followers, of our supporters. There's no government support for it, no core funding. It's all thanks to the support of our amazing community, the Startup Nature family, that are helping us to achieve these goals. Back to you. I'm going to find some, you're on mute, Alan, and I'm going to find some birds.
Yoav?
Yeah.
Murray is asking why the commercial fish ponds have collapsed.
So it's different market forces. Basically, fish import into Israel was permitted mainly from China. So currently, most of the fish that are consumed in Israel are from China, plus increase in water prices and other taxes and custom changes made fish farming in Israel non-profitable, like in many other places in the world, actually. But
and we have Robert
let's
Frank.
go and see some birds. Huh?
Yeah, we have Robert Frank on with us today. He said he was a volunteer at Magan Michael during the Yom Kippur War. Robert, we're great to have you with us. Nadav, let's come to you and see what you got in your neck of the woods. Nadav?
Okay, hi everybody. First of all, let's take a look outside where we are. These are the Gilboa Mountains and Samaria at the background. And I'm now taking you with me to the south. And looking to the east, we can see the mountains of Jordan. Okay, so between me and the ridge in front of me is the Jordan River, the Jordan Valley. I'm in the Bet Shean Valley at the east side of Israel. Now I'm going. This is one of the ponds of the pond that used to be used for commercial fish farming until about 3 years ago, and now we are restoring them as a part of the Startup Nature project. And do you see the white patches in the water? Now I'll take you with me into my scope, and we will all be able to see what they are. This is how they look up close. This is a small flock of white pelicans. You see them well? This flock just arrived. This flock just arrived here about an hour ago. I was here to see them landing. It's a small flock, maybe 10 or 12 individuals. White pelicans now in the spring are migrating from their wintering grounds in East Africa to their breeding grounds in around the Black Sea area, the Danube Delta in Romania, and sometimes Greece, and even Turkey. So now they're on their way north to their breeding ground, and they stay in Israel for just for a short stopover because they're in a hurry to get back to their breeding grounds to find a good breeding spot, a good place for their nest. And you can see these are all mature individuals. So probably most of them will nest quite soon. You can see that some of them have already kind of orange or even brownish hue on their chests. This is summer plumage, like courtship plumage for the white pelicans. And you can see what they're doing now after a long day of migration on soaring, on hot air thermals. They are cleaning themselves. But they need this, they need the wetland, the open water bodies to be protected from jackals and from jungle cats and from foxes that are roaming around looking for lunch or for dinner. And this is a protected area for them to stop, to rest, to clean themselves. What they do now, they're actually preening. They're cleaning their feathers, sometimes oiling them and resting, preparing for tomorrow when they will continue their migration. Tomorrow, they'll probably continue their migration another 300 or 400 kilometers to go on the way north, again back to their breeding ground. So at the moment they can rest here, and white pelicans are a very good example why our startup nature project restoring wetlands in Israel is so important, because for this for the white pelicans and for the avocet you see in the back. Now there's a black and white bird crossing from left to right. This is a pied avocet, and this pied avocet is actually now, and there is another one. They're feeding, so they are wading in the shallow in the shallow water looking for invertebrates. Which are their main food, and they're also on migration now, or they will start it soon, because some of the avocets were here through the winter, and now they're on the way, or will start their way north back to the breeding ground very soon. So for them, for the pelicans, for tens of other different species, these habitats are crucial for their survival. And I'm not exaggerating. It's just as it is. If the wetlands of Israel will be lost, the white pelicans will have nowhere to land, nowhere to find fish, and they will not be able to complete their journey, nor back to the breeding ground, or on the autumn migration to the wintering ground in Africa. Any questions about white pelicans? They feed solely on fish. Okay, so they are dependent on wetlands. The white pelicans do not dive; they only get their necks and heads into the water. So their habitat is fresh water wetlands, up to 1.5 meters, 2 meters deep maximum, because otherwise they are not able to catch their food. Let's see what else we have here.
Nadav, what are the smaller birds that are in front of the pelicans? Someone is asking.
Smaller birds in front of the pelicans might be ruffs. Yes, let's take a look at them. Ruffs we have several here actually. There's a I think the pair in the front. Are they right? See? Yeah, they're ruffs as well. This is a small flock again of ruff, R-U-F-F. Ruffs breed in the most northern part of Europe and Asia, and they are long range migrant. They cover huge distances between their breeding ground and their wintering ground. And again, very similar to the pied avocets, you see some of them are resting, some of them are feeding. But even when they rest, they prefer resting in the water, because they are protected from land predators like cats, jackals, foxes, and so on. And of course, they feed in the water, invertebrates, and mostly on them. Let's see what else do we have here.
So we have one question about what the white pelicans used to do before the fish ponds. Were they entirely dependent on the Hula Swamp, or?
This is a very good question. As Yoav mentioned it very briefly at the introduction, we lost 95% of the wetlands in Israel over the last century or so. We had about 200,000 dunams, that's about 50,000 acres or hectares. You do the math, I'm not good at that. 200,000 dunams of wetlands in Israel from the Hula Valley. The Bet Shean Valley is also called the Valley of Springs, and not for nothing, because this whole area is full of springs. And this particular area where the fish pond that I'm looking at the moment used to be a wetland. When we looked at old maps from the times of the British Mandate in Israel, the beginning of the 20th century, and sometimes even old maps older than that, this whole area is illustrated as a wetland. In some parts of this area, they cultivated sugarcane, okay, and rice, which needs, of course, a lot of water. This whole area was wetlands. Some parts were completely flooded, and some parts were only partly. But also in other places in the area near Ma'agan Michael, where Yoav is at the moment, we had the Kabara wetland between Zichron Yaakov and the Mediterranean Sea, and in other places in northern parts of Israel. So the pelicans had other options that they lost in the last century, and pelicans are migrating for more than a century over Israel. And in the last century, they lost 95% of the wetlands in Israel. So they lost their safe places to land. They lost their food supply. And what we're doing now, Startup Nature is aiming to do, is to restore at least a part of it. Okay, we will not be able to restore the 200,000 dunams that was here a century ago, but we're aiming for 20,000 dunams to be restored in this project in the Startup Nature project, for the benefit of white pelicans, for the benefits of jungle cats, avocets, ruffs, and many different species, birds, mammals, amphibians, and of course vegetation and so on. Any other questions?
Alan, maybe we can spotlight another site for a second.
I have plenty of birds around, so if Yoav and Noam are still looking for something, I can show you a different bird. Okay, so let's go to Yoav. Let's go to Yoav, and I'll change my location. Hi. Alan, you're muted.
We're at Yoav. Sorry, we're jumping down to Yoav.
So I'm in Ma'agan Michael. I shifted my position to another pond inside our Startup Nature project. It's currently dried up, a section of it, and shorebirds are using it. It's very windy here now. I guess you can see the vegetation moving. I'm sheltering inside my car, but outside it's really blustering with or blowing a huli, how it's known in the UK. So many shorebirds are not foraging now. They're sheltering from the wind. And I have a mixed flock of shorebirds roosting or resting here. So it's mainly little stints and ring plovers that I think have been shown in our webinars many times before. But in the center, I hope you can see it, it's sort of crunched down. Rufous, gorgeous rufous chestnut bird. It's an adult curlew sandpiper coming to us from northeast Siberia. I know it's a very rare vagrant to the west coast of the USA. Here, they're scarce migrants. This is a good time of year to see them. I hope that you can see it in the center of the picture. Sort of, it's I'll try to zoom in a bit more. It's the maximum I can zoom in, I think. You can see it's sort of sleeping with its head tucked under its wing. It's in the center of the picture with this beautiful chestnut color. That's an adult, maybe a male because it's so bright, curlew sandpiper on its way to northeast Siberia. So all of these shorebirds that we're seeing here, the little stint, the ringed plover, and the curlew sandpiper are all extreme long-distance migrants. They're all heading to, well, the Arctic Circle in northern Siberia, northeast Siberia. We know that based on migration maps, but also from based on ringing recoveries of birds that were ringed very, 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 very far away. Almost in Kamchatka, we have a ringing recovery here from Magan Michael of a ring plover, the one you can see in the center with the black and white collar. So that's so we've had a ringing recovery of it almost in Kamchatka, in far northeastern Russia. So this place really is an important stopover site for these long distance migrants, and we're very happy to produce these good conditions for these extreme migrants. These migrants experience so many hardships along the way, and when they arrive here, finally they have a quiet place to rest. They have good foraging conditions. The muddy fringes of these ponds are full of birds, and it's great to have them here with us. We're very proud to provide these conditions for them. Maybe we can shift to another position.
Thanks a lot. Noam, we're coming down to you.
Okay, so welcome to Eilat, to the Flamingo Pools. We are not at the bird sanctuary today. Maybe we'll get there later. And what we can show now is just like the other bird watchers are showing, mainly shorebirds. And these are just one of my favorite birds, the avocets that Nadav have shown too. And just look at the activity of the black winged stilts around. You can
Alan, I think you need to spotlight Noam.
He is spotlighted.
Yes, I am. So the white bird in the front is a slender bill gull, and the small tiny bird in the back, just behind the avocet, is a ringed plover. And this is the time. There are so many shorebirds around. I'm showing you just a very little fraction of it, and the diversity is remarkable. I will try to show you some more stuff that is around here. When we are at the Flamingo Pools, we can't really do without them. Here they are. There are about 400 right now. And just before we started, they seem to be doing some courtship, which is not happening every day here. And they seem to be building nests, but they haven't laid any eggs here in the history before. But we are hoping that soon enough this is going to happen. So we are raising our hopes. I'll try to find you another one. I can see it with my binoculars, but let's see if I can actually find it for you. Not this one. That's a stilt. Making it, help me out. Oh, here it is. Next to the stilt is a cute swimmer. Try to make it even bigger with my scope. It's a bit hard to see. Anyway. And this is the red-necked phalarope, or in Hebrew, the swimmer, the sachyanit. And this is a really, really stunning bird because it comes right now from somewhere in the Indian Ocean. They love to spend the winter somewhere in the ocean, in the middle of nowhere, and they just like to do some whirls in the water to try and float the invertebrates that are in the water. Oh, gone, here it is. It swims all the time, and if it looks really stunning, full of colors, but this is not a male, it's a female, because in this species, they have reversed roles in the coupleship. So the male is the female, of course, lays the eggs, but the father is just amazing, the father phalarope, and he's taking care of the chicks instead of the fledglings instead of the female. It's even sometimes sits on the eggs for most of the time. So this is why. So this is actually a female. Sorry, this is a female, which is beautiful, keeping the territory safe, but other than laying eggs, not going to do very much during the incubation time. So just to give you a glimpse again of our flamingos, they're just everywhere here. And let's see if they are still, they're having what we call a beach party, which is pretty rare. Usually the flamingos stay well in the water, but today they are on the beach. So this is
you can really see their long legs when they're up on the embankment like that.
Yeah, so they hang on the beach usually because they want to want to do some courtship, and I've seen them trying to build nests, which is a really good news. Left if it will materialize to something even better later on. So these are just really, really stunning birds. I hope you enjoy them.
Awesome.
The fence behind you is is actually the border with Jordan. We are right at the border, but it's totally safe here.
And of course, Noam, this is not a restored fish pond. It's an entirely different habitat altogether.
Yes, it's very challenging habitat actually, because this is a salt factory, and the salt factory people are here around us doing their jobs. And at the same time, you can see it's full of nature, full of migratory birds. And this is a real challenge to protect this habitat in spite of being a mere factory. And yeah, you can see the truck behind. So the reason we can do that is because this factory management is really cooperative. They're helping us protect the habitat. They make closures of areas so there is no disturbance and birds can breed easily. But right now, all these factories in some kind of transition. Some salt ponds and the factory itself, when they do the packing in Eilat, is going to be closed in about 3 years. And these pools here, instead of using 1,800 dunams, they're going to have to do with 800 dunams that are right here. So the truck that you've just seen is actually parting the huge pools into smaller pools right now, because they need to do the process in much less space. So they're going to use smaller pools, and the impact on the birds is going to be obvious. More saltier ponds, most of them, and less habitat. So to compensate on that, we are trying to work on some salt ponds that will be activated at the bird sanctuary with collaboration with the salt factory. Of course, we will enjoy a good habitat, but at the same time, also the factory might enjoy more evaporation area, because this business of salt production is all about evaporation of the salt water, the seawater. They evaporate them, make them saltier and saltier until they are crystallizing and then harvested. So the more water surface, the better. And we at the bird sanctuary are ready to surrender 200 dunams of an area just to create the habitat that is going to be lost here, and also to help the salt factory stay profitable. If they'll start losing money, this whole place is going to go just like the 95% of the wetland habitats in Israel is going to be gone, and we're going to lose these very, very important stopover sites, not just for flamingos, but mostly for stints, ring plovers, and a lot of other species of bird that I'm going to show you later on this evening. So that's it from here. I'll try to find another location for different species.
Thank you, Noam. We're going to jump back to Nadav up in Kfar Upim, who has another long-legged bird to show us. So let's go
Thank
there.
you, Ellen. It's not me you're coming for, obviously. It's this beautiful spoonbill. Look at it. I've been watching it for about 3 or 4 minutes, and he's been doing what he's doing at the moment, just cleaning, preening, oiling itself, oiling the feathers. And it's quite a funny bird, yawning. See how this long bill with the spoon shape at the end? They use this long bill. Isn't that something? Oh, where are you going? Where are you going? Don't go. Don't go. Oh, okay. Okay. This is quite a funny bird. They come to us they breed in salt marshes in Greece and in Turkey and other countries around the Mediterranean. In Israel, they do not breed, but we see them on migration and in wintertime. Quite a big bird. It is, as I said before, a long bill with spoon shaped at the end. They use this long bill to wade in the water, and they move it from side to side, try and catch food items, small fish, Roshan, Ellen. I know there's a word for a Roshan. Amphibian tadpole. Thank you, Yoav. Amphibian tadpoles like frogs and toads. And also invertebrates they find in the shallow muddy water. And you can see the size differences. I'm going to show you soon. Stay with me to the little egrets here on the right. Okay, these again small flock of little egrets, kind of small egrets that are here. They're fishing at the moment. They're standing in the shallow water, waiting for a small fish or a tadpole to be in the right place. Or they're in the wrong place and time on his part. But this is how they fish. They stand in one place for a long time, just waiting, ambushing. There's again a small flock of shorebirds here waiting. That's a nice rough. Let's see if there's anything else next week. Anything interesting? There was a ring over here before. Try and catch it for you. Just some more
Alan,
rough.
Yes.
Maybe until Nadav finds his ring plover, I have
let's jump over to you. Nadav will be back.
Okay.
A little bit of rarity action here. I think for the first time on our webinars, we have 2 Temminckstons here on either side of the ring plover. Or is it actually a little ring plover? Yeah, it looks like a little ring plover with a yellow eye ring. And on each side is a Temminckston, so 2 Temminckstons in the scope now, named after a German ornithologist, 19th century ornithologist, Temminck, described a few birds in our region in the Middle East, and also a few Siberian birds, and this is a Temminckston as well, on its way to the Siberian breeding grounds in far northern Europe, far northern Asia. Very similar to little stint, but I don't know if you can see it in the scope. They have yellow legs or yellow greenish legs. They have sort of a solid gray breast. They're in breeding plumage now, so they're actually a bit more conspicuous or easier to identify in non-breeding plumage. But now, yeah, they're here in breeding plumage, heading up north towards their breeding grounds. So these are two Temming stint and a little ringed plover.
Nice. I'm going to jump back to Nadav real quick because he's got another shorebird. It's a shorebird day in his scope. Wait, there he goes.
Okay, one of the most commonest birds in wetlands and in agricultural areas in Israel. This is the spare-winged lapwing, or siksak in Hebrew. The name siksak comes from their call. They call sik, 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 sik. They're very territorial birds, and they will attack anything and anyone that gets near their nests. They nest on the ground, just a small dent in the ground, sometimes even not that, like 3 or 4 stones in a kind of a circle, and they lay their eggs at the side of roads and in fields. And people on their morning or afternoon walks, without knowing, they just get into their territories, or they pass the walk or run by the nest, and they're being attacked by the spur-winged plover. It's a beautiful, beautiful bird. Spur-winged lapwing, sorry. It used to be called spur-winged plover, but now it's called spur-winged lapwing. Okay?
I think this was the first bird I ever saw in Israel at the airport.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite common to see them from the plane window. They're running at the sides of the runways.
Yep. Great. And these are little stints running around beside in the background.
Yeah, and some ruffs amongst them. It's a nice. It got windy in here as well, and I want to show you the ringed plover I promised you before. Where is it now? There it is. Some of these birds are already getting into their summer plumage, so this one is have quite nice colors on it. Not sure if the focus is right. You see it well, Ellen?
Yeah, it goes in and out, but yeah.
In the center, yeah. Okay. You can see how the wind is blowing the tail feathers.
Yeah.
Oh, just went. Okay, so maybe go back to normal, Yoav, and I'll change my position for
Yes,
some
Yoav, let's
more
come
birds.
to you.
Sure. So I have an interesting flock of slender-billed gulls. I'm very sorry for all of the movements. It's really windy here. I am sheltering in the car, but the wind is shaking the car. So there's a flock of, I think, 200, 300 slender-billed gulls. Let's do a quick quiz in the Q&A. What are these gulls perched on? Can anyone identify what these gulls are perched on? This is an Armenian gull, by the way, a young Armenian gull. Let's see in the Q&A if anyone can. Exactly, solar panels. Well done. I'll detach from the scope for a second. I'll show you where I am. So it's upon, this is Kibbutz Kfar Upin in the background, and their gulls sat.
Magan Michael.
Magan Michal, sorry. This is the kibbutz itself. This is the school of the kibbutz in the background, and on one of the fish ponds here, there's a floating solar panel construction, and yeah, the gulls are using it to rest. You can see by the amount of droppings on the solar panels that it's not the first time that they're roosting on these solar panels, and it's a large group. So these birds, some of them are in breeding plumage with a nice orange, orangey or pinky hue on the underparts and dark bills. They're heading towards their breeding grounds in the highlands of the Caucasus, Armenia, a bit into Central Asia as well. In winter, there are very large numbers here in Magan Michael. Now, still few hundreds are here, but surely they will leave soon. There are also in big numbers in Eilat as well. This is the Armenian gull. It's a gull that's quite common here in Israel as a non-breeder. However, it has a tiny, tiny global population. Again, they breed in the highlands. Oh, all the gulls took off. A marsh harrier just, no, what's this? Oh, an osprey just flew over them and flushed everything. No chance that I'll manage to get the osprey flying. They're landing already back.
Yoav,
Never
will
mind.
an
Okay.
osprey hunt a gull?
No. The ospreys, they're fish eaters. Let me give me a minute to refocus, okay? Maybe you can
Okay.
spotlight someone else. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, let's jump down to Noam for a little while.
Yes, thank you.
Yoav.
We are having here in Eilat the two rarities in one frame.
Oh,
In
wow.
the front, you can see the greater stand plover. I'm not sure how clear you can see because it's very windy here. So the bird with this red or orange breast is the greater sand plover. They are more common around the Mediterranean, but here in Eilat it's a real rarity. To the right of it, you can see the broad-billed sandpiper, which is more exciting probably for most of you. It's another extremely long range migrant going to eastern Siberia. You can see this beautiful, beautiful eyebrow, which is actually becoming two eyebrows, like it makes two lines, which is probably its most unique diagnostic feature. But look at this bill, it's long, straight, and curved just in the towards the end. And if I will try to open the view a little bit, you will realize that this place is just swamped with so many shorebirds. So many shorebirds. There are curlew sandpipers, ring plovers, common and little. There are Kentish plovers that are actually breeding here, and all kinds of sandpipers, Dunlin, curlew, little, and broad-billed. And next to that, not gonna believe what's happening here, all these beautifully roosting slender-billed gulls are here. They had a long, long day of probably night of migration, and now they just want to rest. And you can see that this is exactly what you're doing. Wait a second, what is this here? I see another stunning bird right now. Oh, the black-bellied plover, you see it? A beautiful summer plumage. I'm gone. Yep, here it is. Black-bellied plover, or gray plover, as we call it around here. So this place just stunning. It just swarms with birds, just everywhere. You can continue to move it. You can see these are the gulls that feel to be a bit more active. They're foraging, they're feeding from the Artemia. And that's I think it's a redshank. Let's see. Yeah, a nice redshank there. Is showing pretty well. So yeah, the Eilat salt ponds are just looking amazing right now. The rough in the back there. It's a lot of birds. Good. Thank you very, very much for visiting. I think I'll try another habitat. So join me a little bit later. Here's the rough with the slender bill gulls. What a cute bird.
Great. Thank you, Noam. Yoav, Nadav, anybody up there? Hang on a second, Noam, until we get another picture.
Yeah, I'm repositioning as well. So if
Okay. All right.
Noam or Nadav can show something.
I'll be ready in a few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes.
So I'm looking at the pictures that Noam has, and I'm thinking I need to get down to Eilat again. I was there in March, but we didn't have quite as many shorebirds around at that time. So Sounds like it's time to get back down there to Eilat. What do you think, Noam?
Yeah, you're always welcomed here, and all of you, all the participants are very welcome. It's very, very beautiful here. You can see the Eilat Mountains, and this amount of birds, just crazy. And
I know someone is asking how long these shorebirds stick around when they're passing through.
Not that long. Sometimes we see an odd bird like a rarity, so we know that they stay a day or 2 or 3. But I guess that many of the birds are just fueling up for a day or a day and a half, and then move on. And these are amazing flyers. You probably know that a little stin that feeds here can probably fly thousands of kilometers with the food gained here, and will probably end up stopovering again somewhere in Kazakhstan or maybe in Aral Sea or something like that. Look, we are having fun here. This is my Kinneret taking pictures, a little bit embarrassed, because it's really, really great. Shachar, say hi to the people from all over the world. These are the Eilat flamingo pools. It's crazy. Let me get you closer. I'm without the telescope right now.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Hal was asking when the best times to come to see migration, and Hal, March, April, May are the height of the spring migration. Each month has its own birds. They come in different timings. So you come in March, you get certain birds, and then April you'll get different birds, etc. And then again in the end of August, September, October is the fall migration heading back to Africa. So any of these times are fantastic times. But also the winter is great, because the winter we have a lot of birds wintering here in Israel and not going all the way down to Africa.
Yes, anytime is a time, and we always have migration. Even if the middle of summer, sometimes the late spring migrants meet the first autumn migrants, and it's fun to see. So it's always time to come to Eilat.
And of course, we have the Eilat Bird Festival that happens at the end of every March, which is a great time to come and join us to see, spend a week birding with us in Eilat, and in the fall, in November, the Hula Bird Festival, which will be up north in the Hula Valley, and looking for migrating and wintering birds that are in the north part of the country. So anyone who wants more information from about those, welcome to contact us and get more information. Okay, Yoav and Nadav, are we anybody up there?
Sorry, I need another minute. If
Okay.
I don't know if Nadav has something.
Okay. All right.
I thought it did, but then it flew. So again, another minute.
Okay.
I'm
going to look back and see if there's any
another
questions from anybody that we haven't answered. And this is a good time to ask some questions while people are repositioning and trying to find some more birds for us. Hal, you're asking if the fires have impacted birds or bird sanctuaries. I don't know if you're talking about recent fires. We had some fires across the country last week, unfortunately. I don't think it affected any of the bird sanctuaries, but it definitely affects habitat. And of course, we had many fires due to the war, especially up in the north. Again, no specific bird sanctuaries were affected, but a lot of habitat did get affected. But nature bounces back, and even now in the spring, we had great areas with rain, and the vegetation starts to regrow, starts to come back. So we just have to give it time, and the nature does recover. I can see that May Kinneret is searching those gulls, trying to find something more unusual. May Kinneret has just spent, how long was it, Noam? About 2 months?
2.5 months.
2.5 months. Up in the Eilat Mountains every single day from dawn to dusk, counting raptors in the Eilat, the raptor count that we are holding every spring. Every bird that flew over her, she counted. It's a big commitment, and we give her a lot of credit for standing in the hot mountains counting birds. And there is a report in Hebrew available. I don't think it's in English yet, but it will be. Right, Noam?
Just a second. It's hard to hear. The wind is crazy.
Yeah.
I hope you can hear me.
Lots of ringed plovers.
Lots of ringed plovers.
What's interesting to see is when it's windy, the birds tend to gather on one edge of the pond where it's a little more sheltered, and they also tend to face all in the same direction into the wind, which keeps them streamlined and stops them from being blown all over the place. That's kind of interesting to see them all facing in one direction.
Yes. So these are mostly ring plovers and a ruff and some limpet stints. They are just a bit difficult to identify through the scope, but you can see the quantities. Maybe Alan, you can see better than me because it's shimmery here. Look at this amount of little stints there. It's crazy.
Yeah, little stints and ringed plovers.
Yeah, we have lots of curlew sandpipers here.
I didn't catch that last one.
We had a lot of the curlew sandpipers. I think I have one now.
Curlew, the one in the middle of the screen with the darker.
It's all purple. You can see it.
Looking breast is a curlew sandpiper. And these guys are all eating little bugs, little insects that gather on the top of the water, at the edge of the water. And they're having a feast.
They have the shrimp, Artemia, the brine shrimp, and you can see them feeding intensively on this food, which is just abundant here. So there is enough for everyone. Never finished. You can see so many birds are just using this amazing resource, which is artificial. This isn't nature, yeah. This is a factory. That's our life, protecting birds that are in habitats that are not natural. This is our work. The state sticks to natural habitats, which is a good thing, which is a great thing. But who's going to protect these guys? And you see, most of the migratory birds do not actually visit these natural sites, especially not here in the desert. They rather come to the salt factory. So this is where the NGOs, the Society for Protection of Nature, and the Eilat Bird Sanctuary is coming to the picture. Someone needs to do this more difficult job, more creative, more innovative work, and work with decision makers, work with the salt factory, show them what they have, make them preserve it, cooperate with us, and they are doing it very, very willingly. You can see these birds are really in need for somewhere to feed, and this is and we provide. So this is a good thing, and of course it takes so much maintenance. It's not easy. People are changing, and we have to talk to them again. And the conditions are changing. Suddenly they need to make smaller pools. Need to change the production cycle here. So this is tough. This is tough work. But this is what we love doing most, protect birds here.
Alan?
You can see it. Yeah, you are.
Alan?
Well, we're gonna
Can
jump
you
to
spotlight me first? Yeah. I want to pay homage to a common bird, but it's quite a stunning bird. This is a glossy ibis. I know that in Eilat they're a bit of a novelty, but here in the north and the center of the country, they're quite common. Sometimes we can see here in Magan Michael flocks of hundreds of glossy ibis. Here in this drained fish pond, there's this young glossy ibis. I think it's last year's glossy ibis. Behind it is a wood sandpiper. Yeah, so you can see it. Just a second. I need to move my car for a second. Excuse me for a second. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Alan, you're muted if you're saying
sorry.
anything.
Yep. Let me know if you have anything to show, Nadav. Okay. I've spotlighted myself in the meantime.
Yeah.
Just to answer a couple questions. People want to know if this is going to be recorded, and yes, it's being recorded, and it will be put up on the natureisrael.org website, so you can check it out there. And for any information about bird walks or festivals or anything like that, you can feel free to send me an email, and we'll connect you to all the information. But you can also find us all the information on natureisrael.org. And we're back with you, Yoav, with the ibis.
Yep. Sorry, I was blocking the road with my car, and someone had to go past. So I wanted to focus on this bird because you can actually see how it's foraging and using the resources in the dried up fish pond. So it's sort of digging in the mud with its long bill, looking for invertebrates, for mollusks, all kinds of stuff that gets exposed when the water level drops. This is more or less how mudflats work. People who live along oceans are familiar with mudflats. The thing is that here, if fish ponds stay dry for too long, they get covered up with reeds. The reeds develop here very quickly. So in these artificial fish ponds or industrial fish ponds, still one of the few fish ponds here that still are used for fish growing. Water levels are dropped, and the birds come in and feast, like this glossy ibis. So glossy ibis are they're actually an interesting bird in Israel because there's a mix of a breeding population and a migratory population. Down in Eilat, you can see them on active migration coming in off the ocean, flying over the desert towards the north. But here in northern Israel, we get them as a breeding species. They breed in colonies here along the Mediterranean coast and in other northern valleys. So it's so it's an interesting species. By the way, I wanted to continue. I didn't finish the story about the solar panels. So we have in Magan Michael a demonstration of some of the conflicts that can happen when fish farms are abandoned. The fish farmers use the water and space to float these solar panels, for example. It's a good thing to produce renewable energy, but it's important to know where to do it and how to do it without affecting wildlife. And the effects sometimes are not straightforward. Intuitively, we would think that these solar panels aren't supportive of nature, but you could see how birds use them frequently as a roosting spot, like that large flock of gulls we saw a few minutes ago. So conservation here in these man-made habitats is challenging. We need to be creative, we need to be adaptive, and that's what we're trying to do in Magan Michael, in Kfar Upi, and in Eilat as well. So again, another good view of the spur-winged lapwing.
Ellen?
Yeah.
You want to?
Yes, I just want to point out that the
me?
glossy ibis is also in the US, so it's the same one that you can see over there. And let's jump to Nadav in Kfar Upim.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me. in
Yep.
this in the wind that started again. So I changed location. I'm now just east of Kibbutz Kfar Uvin. So the kibbutz.
Okay, we lost you. Your audio.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. And now we're looking north along the Jordan Valley. Okay, Geon HaYarden in Hebrew, and into the Gilad Mountains in Jordan. And this is Amud Reservoir. This is where Startup Nature began in Israel. It's the first pilot we did in Israel to restore wetland on top of deserted um, fish farm. This reservoir is 250 dunam big, and it's the first one we did in Israel. And we started here in 2021, and we're now starting the fourth year of managing this site as restored wetland. And I'll show you, I'll take you into my scope again, and I'll show you that it's now for the third year in a row, we're having a mixed nesting colony here of pygmy cormorant and night heron and little egret and some purple herons as well, and cattle egrets also, and that's it for the herons. And it's active at the moment. We estimated like a couple of hundreds of nests of each species in this small colony. It's a mixture of pygmy cormorants, night herons, little egrets, cattle egrets, and they're breeding here. So these habitats provide through the year for migrating birds, wintering birds, for breeding birds through the summer, and their importance is through the year for a large variety of species of birds, and the importance of this restored habitats is super important. I think it's just Noam said that we are trying to protect birds in man-made habitats. I think Amud Reservoir and Startup Nature projects are the answer to this problem. We need to restore more and more habitats in Israel, not just wetland. We need to restore other habitats as well to answer for different needs of different species of birds, of families of birds, because they need to be. It's our responsibility. The way I look at it, it's our responsibility to protect them. And if we lost their habitat, so now it's our responsibility to restore them, to bring them back. And I strongly believe that it will benefit us as well. I have no doubt.
And
Yeah.
Nadav, can you tell us a little bit more about the pygmy cormorants? Because these really are a specialty of the area. I don't think I've ever seen so many in one spot as I'm seeing right now.
Pygmy cormorants are fish-eating birds. They are related to the greater cormorants we see in Israel in winter. Pygmy cormorants also feed on fish, but also on water insects. They used to be very common in Israel in the 1980s. But then, due to actions taken by fish farmers in Israel, their population decreased dramatically to the verge of extinction as breeders in Israel. And in the last 2 decades, the numbers are getting bigger and bigger to the verge of them being treated as a pest again. Okay, So they are starting to create a problem for fish farming in Israel again. And there's a small bird that landed on a tree next to me. Let's see if I can show you. Very nice bird. Where are you, birdie? Okay, so back to the pygmy cormorant. Was a sunbird.
Ah, okay.
Palestine sunbird.
Yeah, they don't
Anyway,
tend to sit still very long.
Yeah, back to the pygmy cormorants. So their numbers are increasing now in Israel. As you can see, there are breeding colonies of sometimes hundreds of pairs together. Again, they go to feeding the fish farms because we have very few alternatives. If we create more and more reconstructed wetlands in Israel, they'll have other alternatives, and the conflict between
Nadav, sorry, can I interrupt?
Yeah?
Nadav, sorry, can I interrupt for a second? Look what I have here.
Ooh.
Ooh, I have, it's a bird that we saw from a distance before, but look at this full frame view of a stunning adult curlew sandpiper.
That is a great view.
Wow, what an awesome bird. And look how it's feeding. It's in our restored fish pond in Magan Michael. Again, I'm sorry for the shaking because of the wind, but this is really a stunning, stunning, stunning bird. I'll move the scope in a second because I have another large flock of excellent birds around. So bear with me for a second, or go to Nadav and Noam, and I'll be with you in a second.
Okay, we're going to jump to Noam real quick.
I have to say, just a minute, just one sentence, please. I have to say, for me, this is success. To see a foraging curlew sandpiper, a migrating curlew sandpiper foraging in a wetland that we restored is a great success. To see the pygmy cormorant breeding in the habitat that we restored is a great success. So this is, for me, this is just, that's the reason I'm waking up in the morning.
Absolutely.
One of them.
It's so great to see. And I just put the camera down to Noam in Eilat. I think, Noam, you are at the restored sewage ponds.
Exactly. It's another example of success. Sewage pond that used to be a terrible place for birds and now is an amazing place for birds because good people decided to change reality. And these are the people of the water company of Eilat. They needed some help with advice and initiative, but here it is. And the pied kingfisher just loves it. You see, this vegetation here used to be cut every year, once or twice, and not anymore. Now they understand that this vegetation is important for lots of migratory birds, and here it is. They keep it, and the water is full of fish, and the pied kingfisher is enjoying it. It's not one; it's actually two. Here's the male. The other one was the female. You can tell the sex of the pied kingfisher by the number of stripes on the chest. This one just has an extra one, which makes it a male. So here is the guy, and they're both looking all the time into the water for some moving fish. And it's like a swing, huh? He's enjoying it there. The wind is moving everything, and here he is. This is the pied kingfisher, and there is a lot more here. But wow, let's enjoy it for a little bit. He's looking up for predator. Mars Harrier just passed, so he's looking up, but nothing to worry about. It continued. Let me show you a few things I'm very proud of. Yeah, do that. And my floating island. So this is just some kind of floating thing that we decided to create as a floating island. And you can see the birds that are enjoying it. It was a nice project. Maybe it's not very significant for nature, but it is a safe place for birds, no predators. And we do have lots of jackals that are eruptive species here in Eilat that are preying on everything that nests on the ground. This one's just enjoying this gray heron, as put here, is just enjoying the safety of being on an island, which is a lot, okay? And some other birds are here. These are the common sandpipers. It's a flock of migratory common sandpipers that are not very common, but and usually they are not together in a flock, but here they are, just enjoying. They can relax, and nothing bad is going to happen because they are on an island. Of course, a man-made island. And what else is here? Oh, there's a big one here. Or is
Noam,
it?
I'm gonna leave you for a second because we have
Sure.
some good birds with Yoav real quick.
Yeah, so I have a lovely, lovely flock of about 40 strong spoonbills. Nadav did show one being a bit bizarre earlier on, but this is a nice foraging flock in a shallow fish pond looking for some leftover fish. Look at the way that they're foraging, a beautiful, beautiful foraging action. A nice flock here, many of them. They don't breed in Israel, they breed in wetlands in Europe. Also, quite many spoonbill ibis in the group with them. I'll find an, yeah, they're a really lovely, lovely flock of spoonbills. Can see them foraging actively.
It's fun to see them using their beaks like that.
Yeah, I'll try to find, yeah. Yeah, so the adults have black bills and they develop a little bit of yellow plumage towards the breeding season. The young birds, I'll try to find a young bird. Yeah, the one with the yellowish bill there. These are the young birds. You can see that they seem to be having a great time feeding on probably little fish or little shrimp in the water. They're feeding very successfully, I think. Wow.
Very
Look
nice.
at them. Blub, 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 blub.
Let's just jump quickly to Nadav because he's actually got a little bird to show us. We haven't seen any little birds today. Ah,
Yeah, that's a lovely yellow-vented or spectacled bulbul. It's the Jerusalem Bird Observatory symbol or logo. Quite a nice bird here in Israel, quite common. Bulbul or bilbal in Arabic from Iraq is a singer. It's actually called in the local Arabic. It's called a singer, and they do sing quite nice. And usually you see them in couples, at least, especially at this time of the year. And it's quite a nice bird. They feed on fruits and insects and quite a large. They have quite a large spectrum of food. Let's see what just landed here. No, that's a laughing dove. Oh, and there's a jackdaw just landed. The bird that made the bulbul go away. That's a jackdaw. Look at the beautiful light blue eye. It's connected to the crows family. Oh, there he goes. That was a jackdaw.
so while I have you here, Nadav,
Yeah.
while you're showing us some birds, somebody wanted to know if the fish in the fish ponds, especially the startup nature fish ponds, or ponds, need to be restocked all the time.
That's a very good question. In general, our agenda is to do the minimum that we need. Okay, we don't want to restock fish in our restored wetlands. We hopefully we have our our wetlands have, let me just put the scope on the pygmy cormorants again, so you'll have something to look at while I'm talking. So ideally, our wetlands have an קישוריות eco-hydrologic, like eco-hydro-connectivity, okay, which means that it's not disconnected from the ecological and the rest of the environment around it, which means that water are flowing in through small river and they're getting out of our wetlands through a small river, which means that little fish can get in naturally. So we want the fish that are naturally in the specific habitat to grow in our wetland. You want the fish to come in with the water. And you want them to continue from our wetlands to the rivers and the wetlands downstream. Okay, so we try, if possible, not to restock and to bring other species of fish or maybe other DNA strains of maybe the same species but from a different area. So they have a different DNA strains. We try not to mix them. So we want the natural populations of the natural species of fish to grow back in our restored wetlands. And this is true for everything. This is our agenda mainly, is to do as minimum as needed and to let nature do its course, do its thing, and to restore itself, because it has the ability to restore. We just need to give it the right naim. Sorry, Ellen. The right conditions. Okay, so we help it as little as we need to, and we hopefully the natural cycles would get back and will do what they know how to do if we just let them the chance, just give them the chance. Any other questions about the restored habitats? Ellen, if you're saying something, I can't hear you. Let me see for myself.
I've just switched the photograph, so we're down in with
okay.
Tom, who has an osprey sitting on a pole.
Yes.
Ooh, wow.
So that's a nice osprey, and it's not just sitting on a pole. It sits on a pole that I put. And why did I put this pole? Because they get electrocuted. You see the power lines behind, so they sit on the pile. They used to sit on the pylon, and we got them all the time electrocuted. So we realized this is a problem. And how do we tackle the problem? We put our own safe perches. So actually we put 6 different poles that are similar to this one. They look even better, they're natural, and the birds enjoy them and are safe. So this is another example of how you can, with pretty simple solutions, actually make the life of birds safer. Oh, he's struggling the wind, you can see.
Wow.
Not so easy. Yeah.
And there's a couple swallows flying around, I see.
Yeah, some barn swallows. So yeah, let me show you where we are. First of all, this is a hide we've built, so we can see the birds without disturbing them. And just look how beautiful this disgusting sewage pond had become. That's our floating island. Look at the reed beds. You can see more of our pylons over there. And we are having a really, really big and beautiful watch. And here is Kineret watching the birds, looking for new things to show you. So I'm pretty proud of this project. It was about 4 years work of identifying the hazards like electrocution or light pollution or this fence that you might see, the border fence, which the birds got entangled in the barbed wire, the invasive species, like the jackals that used to feed on migratory and breeding birds, the management of the reeds that used to be extremely aggressive. And look at it right now. It became a really, really beautiful and safe site for birds. And this is the work of the water company of Eilat, with some help of ours. We gave the idea. We came with the report, the ecological report. We did the negotiations with the people, showing them what we want to be done, and they are saying what can be done and what can't be done, and eventually creating a plan which is ours and also belongs to the water company, and then implement it. Now, this has cost a lot. This was about 1 million shekels that I raised for them from the Open Space Fund. It's a fund of the Land Authority of Israel, which is protecting open spaces, exactly like that. Places that have no solution in the law. The state doesn't know what to do with these kind of sites. So NGOs come with the ideas, and they're happy to fund it. They usually require some self-contribution, and this is where many of you come into the picture, helping us with this rewilding projects, this management of man-made habitats, Startup Nature, and you can see the results where your money was going to. It's a really, really, really nice place, so thank you for that.
Someone is asking where this is. It's just south of the Flamingo Ponds, about 19 kilometers north of Eilat.
Yes.
Right along the border. And another person is asking, where does the sewage go? This water is still being treated.
So this water is, by the way, you can see a marsh area hovering. So this water actually, the result of the cleaning of the water, these water are almost drinkable, and they go for the date plantations of Southern Arava. All our date plantations are being irrigated from this recycled water. About 90% of the water of Eilat arrive here. They get cleaned in a factory which is just over there. And this is where we store the water and then pumped to the farms right away. So actually farming here became dependent on tourism, because the more tourism we have, the more water we have for agriculture. So during COVID time, it was a real crisis also for farmers, because there was a real shortage of recycled water. But now Eilat is full again, and even if foreign tourism is not a big deal yet, only few arrive, still Eilat is full with Israelis, and here is the marsh area scaring all the birds away. They love the attention.
And I just want to point out that this new bird hide is fantastic. It's completely wheelchair accessible, easy to get to, and a real great addition to the bird watching sites here in Israel. It just opened up this spring. Thank you,
Yes.
Noam. We're just gonna jump back up to Yoav. We're starting to wrap up for the evening, as the sun is starting to make its way towards the hills in Eilat.
Yeah. I have a mixed flock of, again, a beautiful curlew sandpiper, a little stint, and a ring plover. As you can see, these are the dominant species this time of year in Israel, both in Eilat and Kfar Upin and Magan Michael. Probing in the mud, foraging very efficiently. So as I said, curlew sandpiper is sort of half scarce in Israel. And in our restored pond, there's a flock of 11 now. So it's really nice to see them. Some are, like this one, are in full breeding plumage. And this one, it's still in more or less winter plumage. It hasn't started molting yet. You can see it's the same species in different plumages and the same scope view. Really nice to see them side by side. They're both heading towards the same breeding area. Yeah, really, really beautiful birds, those adult curlew sandpipers are. I am losing the sun here.
Yeah.
Another young bird, I think.
Yes.
Last year's young bird.
So we'll take one more quick jump to say goodbye to each of the sites, and if there's anything you want to last words that each one of you want to give.
Yeah, there's something I want to say. So this is our dried up fish pond, and in the back is a town called Jisr Azarka. It's an Arab town. We are trying to reach out to them to invite them to become partners in management of this park. It's really, really important for us to engage with all different communities, with all different people. We know that going out to nature, studying in nature is so important for kids, for schools, for their education, for their development. And we are doing our best to make this place as accessible as possible to all different people, all different communities. And I hope that maybe a recording of this webinar will make it to Jisr Azarka, which is just behind the stream there, the Taninim stream. Hopefully they will hear my plea, inviting them to come and work with us here in this beautiful place for their children. It's really, really important for us.
Thank you, Yoav. Let me just jump to Nadav. Nadav, some last words.
Yeah, just thank you for being with us. And I'm going to show you this is me. And more important, no, come on. This is where I am, the Amud Reservoir, and behind it, the Gilad Mountains in Jordan. It's such a beautiful and peaceful place for me to be and for all the birds. So thank you very much for being with us, and thank you for supporting us with our work. And just thank you again, and hope to see you here in Israel or anywhere else. Thank you.
Alan, I have another special guest in my car that wants to say hello. So
thank you, Nadav. Who's your special guest? Yes.
This is my dog Lola. She's my loyal companion. I'll just mention she's an October 7th refugee. I adopted her from one of the kibbutzim in the south that were attacked on October 7th, and she's been with us since. Lola, you're a wonderful dog, aren't you? So she was with me in the car, so quiet and so lovely. Thank you, everyone. Great to see you.
Let's go down to Noam for last words there. Noam?
Yes, and from the window of my car, you can see a pratinkhol. It's really, really cute. A collared pratinkhol. You can see how close it is. It's nuts. And yeah, this is me, and my Kinneret is very, very excited with the camera right now. This is epic. You can see the car, the pratinkhol, and my Kinneret taking pictures of a collared pratinkhol. There are two of them right here. Yeah, so she's not free to talk to you right now. She's totally busy. So this is me. I make it, hold it, and that it flew off. So thank you very much for joining, and for our supporters. See you next time in Eilat.
Thank you, guys. And last words from me. I just want to say thank you to everybody who joined us today, and thank you to Nadav and Yoav and Noam who chased down the birds from us despite the incredible wind that we could see blowing them and the birds around. And we hope that we have been able through the scopes to bring you also a little bit of peace and tranquility. We know that nature heals. And we encourage you to get out and go see the birds where you are as well. Take some time to breathe the fresh air and the spring and enjoy the migration wherever you are. I'm going to post the donation link again because people are asking, but you can find us on our website, birds.org.il. And if you have any questions, I've posted my email. You can get in touch with us, and we're happy to
Highlight me, Ellen. To end with,
highlight
me.
you.
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Oh.
Highlight you. So it's very hard to leave.
No, it's gone.
Okay, it's gone. It's very hard to leave. There's always more birds to
Sorry.
see,
Yeah.
even as the sun is setting. And that's a beautiful view that you have there. So we'll leave you there, the view there. It's better than my face. And we thank you very much for joining us. We will be taking a break from the live webinars until possibly the spring, the fall, when we will try to come back and give you the fall migration. So, but we will be coming at you with some other webinars with the Society for the Protection of Nature in Israel over the next few months. So you'll probably see us again. And with the Palestine sunbird sitting on the branches there, we say good night, good evening from Israel, and all the best. Take care.
Thank you. Bye
Bye,
bye.
everybody. Bye bye.